Hey, what's going on guys? Butterbar here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another Division 2 video. So Massive did their State of the Game stream yesterday. I wanted to give you guys my opinion about what I thought about that stream. I feel like out of the entire stream, one big announcement was really good to hear about during the entire State of the Game stream. So I'll give you guys my opinion about what I think about that. For the rest of it, I felt like it was really lackluster in my opinion. So I don't know how much we will actually talk about the rest of the State of the Game stream. However, they did post up a forum on the Ubisoft forums. Massive let us know, hey, we are identifying that there's different things that are happening in this game that players are not liking. We are listening to you. We are wanting to know more about what's going on. And this forum actually made me really excited about the different changes they plan on bringing to the Division 2 with leading up to the raid here in the next couple of days. It's really exciting to know that a raid is going to be coming out less than 2 weeks away, or about 2 weeks away. So it's going to be really exciting to play this, hopefully with some new changes being brought into Division 2 to where you actually feel like a really powerful agent. And I guess that's the biggest thing for me, is you got to feel powerful in a game where you're a special agent. You're wanting to be the top tier, soldier on the battlefield. You want to feel powerful. Right now, I don't feel like the Division 2 is doing a great job being able to make you feel like a very powerful individual. So, alright, so let's get into the state of the game. And the biggest announcement really was the PTS. Yes, the Division 2 is now getting PTS servers for PC. So if you are a PC player, you're able to actually test out the different updates and changes that Massive plans on doing to the Division 2. The Division 1 had PTS, which again was a really great thing because we were actually able to test out and see what these changes that they plan on making to the game before they were made permanent to the actual world instead of onto the PTS. Again, this is really good. I really do wish that the Tidal Basin update had something like this, because I do feel like with the Tidal Basin update, a lot of things were kind of broken. I feel like the mojo was a little disturbed, and it just feels like a different world than what it was before the Tidal Basin update. So really excited to hear about a PTS. I think it's going to make the game a lot better. I feel like when it comes to different changes, the community is going to be able to voice their opinion about what they would like to see. And again, I really do feel like changes that need to be brought to this game, you need to feel like a very powerful agent. You are the last hope for the civilization of Washington, D.C. So I really do feel like with the PTS, any changes that are going to be brought to the Division 2, hopefully, people are able to make their opinions known, and hopefully we become a stronger, more powerful individual in the world in Washington, D.C. All right, now, again, like I said, the state of the game, again, besides the PTS announcement, was really lackluster in my opinion. I felt like not a whole lot of stuff was actually talked about. However, today I'm really excited to talk about is the forum that was actually put on the Ubisoft forum by Massive, and this actually gives out a lot of the details that they plan on actually releasing, and different updates, different changes that they plan on bringing to the game, that they're listening to their audience, or listening to the community about what they want to see in the Division 2. And again, this makes me really excited to see that we are going to be seeing some really good changes later in the future. So first off, let's talk about gear drop. So right now in the Tidal Basin update, if you are in World Tier 5, you could be 500, 502, 503, 504, you could be 498, whatever gear score you are right now, you are possibly seeing a gear score that is lower than what you are. Prior to this, when we were in World Tier 4 and the max gear score was 450, we were seeing nothing but 450s. If you were a 450 gear player, that is all you saw. So right now, it is not the case. Gear that drops at 500 is not that often when it comes to the real world activities. Gear that's just dropping right in front of you. At the time, it's several points lower than what you are in game. So Massive is actually seeing that. They are understanding that it's actually making some players very frustrated. Again, too, if you're a casual person, I can definitely see how this is a frustrating thing for you. Again, you're wanting to always constantly upgrade your gear. You're wanting to constantly be moving forward. And if you're having gear that's dropping lower than what you are, it definitely is kind of a bummer in being able to make that progress through the game score. So I'm happy to see that Massive is looking into being able to drop gear at our level or above. Let's talk about gear sets. Underwhelming or underperforming gear sets. Yeah, True Patriot over the ongoing directive as well as Hardwire are really not that great of gear sets. If you look back at the Division 1, Century, Striker, all these different types of gear sets in the Division 1, people were driving to go after those gear sets and making sure that they were getting them because they were really powerful, especially going into the raids into the Division 1. Gear sets sets were one of the most sought after things to make sure that your character, your player, was really powerful going into them and was able to stand toe-to-toe against the AI enemy. So Massive again is understanding that gear sets are very underwhelming. They look forward to actually being able to update them, make sure that they're at least matching up to the different high-end items out there right now. The gear sets don't really have much to offer to them, that high-end items that have really good talents on. So again, Massive is looking forward to actually updating it to where the gear sets actually can perform toe-to-toe with the different high-end items with a really good talent. So again, really looking forward to that, because I really was looking forward to trying out the True Patriot, and hopefully that gear set is one of those gear sets that is really powerful. Another thing is exotic weapons. Exotic weapons is again another thing in this game that I really do feel underwhelming. I feel like there's really not much to most of the exotic weapons. If you can find a high-end item again that has really good talents, really good rolls, you can actually deal out a lot of good damage with some of the weapons out there that have some of those good talents. Again, things like maybe the Chatterbox or the Liberty, things that you can actually holster, and having them holstered actually is a lot better than using the weapon itself, is some of the things that I'm seeing as a player, seeing things as, hey, look, again, really there's no point using the Chatterbox when I can equip, you know, an AR or an SMG and have the abilities from the Chatterbox influence my other weapon that has really good talents on them. So again, I really do see that Massive does plan on making these exotic weapons and feel a little more powerful in game. The one thing they actually do say in this forum is that, look, if you do feel like some of these gear sets or some of these exotic weapons are weak and you want to see improvements to them, please let them know. Let them know on Twitter. Let them know on Reddit. Let them know in these forums. Let them know what your opinion is on these gear sets, on high-end items, on the AI, all these different things I'm talking about. Let them know what your opinion is, because they do plan on doing some changes to where it's actually making the community a little bit more happy with the game. Talents, this is one thing that kind of rubs me the wrong way. Again, it kind of goes with weapons. In the latest title-based update, some weapons did see a nerf, some weapons saw a buff. Again, I'm one of those guys that does not like to see things nerfed. I want to see more buffs. I want to see things brought up, not down. So if you have guns that are powerful, bring the weaker guns up to its level to where there's a little bit more competition. With this, however, in this forum, they talk about how some talents are overperforming and some talents are just really weak and underperforming. And I'm again, I really don't agree with this, because a lot of players out there are building good rolls on their items, building good gear sets from high end, and if they see that later in an update where their gear set, their gear that they worked really hard for is now downgraded, I can see that's where it's a really big problem. So again, when it comes to the talents, boost them up, give them a buff. If there are weaker talents out there, give them a buff. Leave the ones that are really good alone. Bring the weaker ones up to their level to where it's a little bit more competitive. Don't bring one talent up and another talent down and have them compete there. No. Again, buff stuff do not nerf, at least in my opinion. Alright, I guess this will be the last thing I'll talk about, and this is the one thing that I find very funny, because it's one thing that I had talked about recently in other videos, is game difficulty. Right now they are investigating a current bug with enemy AI being too aggressive due to them not acknowledging player hit points correctly. I will say this, I know this from personal experience, is that I'm having AI, especially either on hard or challenging, God forbid heroic, where they're just literally running past me as I'm shooting them, and it's just like, if I tried to do this as a player, I'd be just completely demolished by the AI. So I'm happy to see that Massive is seeing that from the community, that they're not really happy with that, and they do look forward to actually making some changes to the AI where they actually will act a little bit more correctly to us being being powerful agents and them being a little bit more weaker. So hopefully we'll see some changes to that. They're looking into balancing armor and survivability a bit. I will tell you right now, dude, they are really spongy. I think it's like a Division 1 spongy enemies. It's really crazy. I'm kind of surprised that they are as spongy as it is. Not so much when you're playing as 1, 2, or 3 players, but once you get into 4 players, you're facing some really spongy enemies. So again, I really do look forward to them making some changes to the difficulties, making some changes to some of their armor, some of the armor that these things have, to where it takes a lot, again, with changes to mods, changes to how many rounds you have in the magazine. I really did love the 30-round magazine. Now that it's been brought down to 10 or 20, you don't have that much ammo to actually fight some of these AI, so it does suck that they have a lot of armor and you have less ammunition. So I really do hope that they do make a change to this, and that's one of the things that they're going to be using the PTS for. Things like increased protection for players sprinting from going to cover, looking at dealing less damage. Again, that's one of those things where if you're wanting to make maneuvers throughout the game and you're not able to because you're getting one shot by some of these NPCs on the higher difficulties, it is a son of a gun. So hopefully we do see some changes to that. And the last thing they talked about was we agree that hard, challenging, and heroic mission NPCs can feel too spongy, like I was saying. So they want to improve and decrease the time to kill. So whew, man. Yeah, I mean, that's just one of the biggest thing for me right now is the sponginess of the enemies and how much damage they deal. And us as agents, as players, we have the weakest armor in the world, and we have like paper mache armor, and then our guns are shooting jelly beans or something just because unless you have a really good build, unless you have some really good talents on your weapons and your gear, you're really not doing a whole lot of damage in a 4-player mode in either hard or challenging or even heroic. So again, those are just a few of the changes in the forums. I'm going to post the forum link into the description below, so if you guys want to check it out for yourself, those are the main things I wanted to talk about. And again, I would love to know from you, what do you guys think about some of these changes? What do you guys think about the PTS and some of the changes to not only gear sets, exotics, but also to the AI and the difficulty of the game? I would love to know in the comments below. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you guys did, please drop me a like. Again, let me know in the comments below what you guys think about some of the changes that plan on being brought into the future of the Division 2. Have a great rest of the day, and I will see you guys all next time.